So I got something in the mail. I've got no noise hopefully going on. So what I did was I was on Twitter, I think a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and I just thought, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. So through my networks, and Twitter is great for just networking. So if you're personal, you can tweet into anything, and people are like, what is for Twitter? But especially when you have a career or you have a profession, just like nutrition, it's very general and broad, but I really love whole foods, and I really love connecting people with food and nutrition and what it does for their body and empowering them to make their own decisions and choices. And there's so much nutrition noise in the world, and I'm a really big supporter of home economics, which you probably, if you know what it is, your head goes back to the 1950s, a woman in an apron who doesn't work, cooks for her family, keeps a house, and that's what we have this vision of in North America. And yeah, I'm dating myself a little bit, and if you're older than me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I personally was the last generation, in the last, I think, grade in my grade school to actually have home ec or home economics. And for one semester, I had home ec, and for one semester I had shop. And what you might not know, as much as most people know that I'm a professional home economist, so that's actually a registered designation, I actually picked shop first. So that's woodworking. And people are like, And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I always liked going against the grain, pun intended. But it was the fact that, you know what? I didn't like the fact that it was always about women and cooking. As much as I grew up like that, and I have that knowledge, and I know how to cook from scratch. My dad's from Italy. My mom's grew up on a farm. Food was part of my culture, but what I wanted was something different. And sometimes we always go away from what we know the most, and we always come back home, if you know what I mean. And you can see that in your own lives probably a lot, where eventually you realize, wow, that is just built right into me. And so part of home ec has been huge for me. And when I saw this book, I was like, oh my gosh. And somebody was like, oh my gosh, this is a great book. And all I did was chime in on Twitter. That's all I did. I chimed in on Twitter because I'm like, hallelujah! There's an actual cookbook out there that is new, recent, and literally wants to teach people about home ec and what it means in the kitchen. And what people don't know is home ec is a huge facet of different types of professions, but really it's not just food nutrition, and people think maybe sewing. So there's sewing and textiles, but there's professional home economists that even actually they look at the fabrics. When you're like fabrics, you think fashion, but what you really need to know is that, you know what? There's a lot of people that need fabric for certain things in their life or their profession. For example, firefighters need fireproof actual vêtements or clothes. You need, for chefs, they need certain materials for their aprons. And think about our armed forces. They actually require certain rugged materials and different things that camouflage, breathe. We talk about sports, you know, wicking things. So textiles and fabrics are a part of home economics. It's not just sewing or knitting and things like that, and that's all good. There's also personal economics, so that's actually your finances, that's mortgages, that's student loans, and all these kind of things. So even though I get sidetracked, there's a lot more to home ec than what you think. And I just love the fact of it's actually learning about how to have a really healthy, holistic life, which is what I identified with and why I became a professional home economist when I discovered the profession. So when somebody is actually promoting home economics in, 2018, to me, I think it's huge. And I think that deserves, woohoo, like you need to get excited about that, because people really think it's old fashioned, and it's not. It's about we adapt, and we are professionals that actually adapt to what our society is doing and dealing with. So whether it's dashboard dining, and when I come, like I'm about nutrition, things that are important about making cooking easy. And we don't have a lot of home ec built into our education system anymore. We thought everybody knows that, so let's replace it with typing, computers, now robotics. And what we're finding is that all these people are very knowledgeable about everything when it comes to computers, which when I grew up, a computer was like a very, very hot machine that was black and white. And I'm not kidding. But it's those kind of things that because we're so literate in computers, we're very illiterate in a lot of just our daily lives. We usually we hire it out We hire out how to clean, how to fix our home, how to hang a picture. And I mean, this can be extreme, but also we actually hire out a lot. We dial in to actually do things with our food. And so whether it's shopping, getting a good deal, there's a lot of things that we actually shop out for now because we don't have the ability to do it ourselves, or we lack time, or we don't know how to coordinate and organize our lives and our homes. So why I'm on here, this was actually sent, and it was amazing because all I did was tweet in, and this amazing person, and it's actually, if you look at this, super cool, came from Ireland. And I said, the guy was like, no, send me your address and I'll send you a cookbook. I'm like, literally, that's not why I tweeted this. Super cool. I'll go buy one. And he's like, listen, please give me your address. I had a couple people do this in the last couple of years. That is super cool that they're like so passionate, but I was super excited that, and this came in the mail today. So it was addressed. Look at, I did. And I kind of said, like, listen, I'm just really passionate about it. And he's like, let me send you my cookbook. So I am super excited and I'm going to open it up, but you're going to understand. So first of all, I want to say super thank you. Second of all, I think you guys always need to understand that I think it's important that, you know what, you actually toot other people's horns and just tell people how much you appreciate what they're doing in their profession and their career. And I think, you know, it's a team effort. And here it is. This is so pretty. Okay. And this dude, Home Economics for Life. Isn't that one of the best titles for when it comes to home ec and what I told you what home ec means to me, and the 50 recipes you need to learn? Seriously, this is what I try to teach people. And yet I haven't read this because I just opened it. I haven't read it. Thank you so much, Neven. It's amazing. He's a chef, and this is what he's trying to do, is teach people to cook at home. And you know what? I think it's really important that he does that education. Oh my God, I'm already looking at the back. Step-by-step visual guides, which a lot of people do need, and that's okay. But what I'm trying to do is just like literally, it's beautiful. Oh my God. I have to go look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. It's beautiful, colorful, very clean lines. I mean, just tomato sauce, like the basics, vegetables, crispy roast potatoes, humble potato, he calls it. I love it. Honestly, it makes my heart so warm to actually see somebody so passionate that somebody wants to teach, a trained chef. And here we go. Oh my gosh. And even better. Okay. If anybody knows what these are, I love these things. These are your little bookmarks. So when you want something, you know what? You actually have it. What amazing attention to detail. And the stew formula. So much pastry and shortcut to it. Pizzas, pastas, chicken stock. Honestly, I can't wait to dive into this. I am so excited. Hopefully, Neven, I'm saying your name right, Neven Maguire. Total a fan just for the fact of how passionate you were, the fact that you insisted on sending me this cookbook, and I can't wait to try it out. I'm working back on recovery and making sure that I feel better, but honestly, this is just inspiring enough to go, you know what? I love cooking. I love feeding my body, my soul, my family, and I love teaching. So hopefully I'll be able to do a book review on this, and stay tuned. And I'm working on my reading and writing again. But honestly, I'm just totally blown out of the water, even just by looking through it. Honestly, I think he did a really good job of just the basics. So if you're looking for a cookbook that's all about home economics, and you don't take a home ec course anymore, there is a food nutrition class in Ontario, grade 10, and yes, you can take it. I think this is a really good start for any child or adult to actually get back into home ec, learning how to cook at home, and it's 50 recipes you need. And I'm super excited that I was gifted this, and I'm just inspired that, you know what, somebody's taking the time to actually recognize home economics in this century. So it's always valid. It is definitely for life. And if you want to have a happier, healthier life, you should really contact a professional home economist, or you should just try to start incorporating more skills and always be the student to learn more. And it's not embarrassing at all to say, I don't know how to cook. It's not embarrassing to say, I don't know how to hang a picture. It's not embarrassing to say, I don't know how to sew. But if you want to learn, it's never a bad time to start. So you're 3, 30, or I've even had people that are grandparents say, I really didn't know how to cook because I wasn't allowed, because that was my mom's domain. It makes me sad, but at the same time, it makes me want to help. So I'm super glad that somebody else wanted to help, and then they also helped me. So thank you, Neven, for inspiring me, and thank you for the book, and I can't wait to use it, and I can't wait to do a review on it, only because I think that just honestly the title grabbed me, and once I went on his website and read more, I was like, this is a totally cool dude, and I'm already totally impressed by the quality of it. Thank you so much. And stay tuned, because I'm going to be diving into this, and somebody's going to be helping me do these things, but it looks amazing. Total basic recipes. It is not rocket science. You have a guide. I'll let you know how it works, but it looks like it's really good already. So check out Neven's cookbook, and thank you, Neven. So cool that you're actually encouraging home economics.